Hey, good morning. This is Laura, and I am here with my bestie, Dr. Dana.
Hi, all.
So we sat down this morning and we were like, okay, let's come up with a list of topics. And it was so funny because you started telling me the story about the guy or the lady in St. Louis.
Yes, I just read this article on the way here about a woman who had an altercation, kind of a verbal disagreement with her husband. And she gets out in her car, and I guess the husband's trying to stop her. He climbs on the hood of the car, and she just said, I'm going, and starts driving. And for 4.6 miles, she's driving as fast as she can, erratically all over the road. And the cops are trying to pull her over. And for a half mile, the cop said, I'm trying to pull her over, and she would not pull over. She even went through a construction zone.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet we can somehow relate to this story. That's what we said. We're like, well, she's already, I'm sure that half a mile with the cop, she's probably thinking, okay, well, they've already got me now. Do I really need to stop or do I just keep going?
Right.
Weigh
Right.
my options.
Right. Like, I'm going to jail for a little while, so let's make it worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And how many of us have gotten to the point, and maybe not even with our husband, but we've gotten to the point with something where we're just like, done.
Oh, done.
Just done.
Yeah.
And it's like that one thing just,
Right. Sends us right over the edge. And then you think you're crazy. But if you started talking to other women, you'd find out you're not really crazy. Like,
no.
we all reach our breaking point, which is actually why we need people. Like, I need to have Laura to say, oh my God, my husband's on the front of my car and I'm going 70 miles an hour down 65. Do you think I should pull over? The cops behind me, I need Laura to cheer me on. Just go, girl. Just go. Like,
Do it.
You're
Thelma
already over
and
the
Louise this thing.
Yes.
I remember when I was in nursing school and we had to do this round in psychiatric. And there was soccer mom in there. I'm not kidding you, lady, with her nails done, her hair done, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, is she the therapist?
Right.
Oh, no, she was a patient. And like literally, she'd had that moment. Like she was done. And she stayed there for 3 days just to, I don't know what. I mean, just to chill out or whatever. But I'm like, oh my God, if it could happen to her, it could happen to me.
Yes.
She's probably better off than I am because she looks so well made.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm well made. So our topic today was
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
Life is hard.
I know.
And I hear you saying this like with this woman who has her nails all done. Well, I have my nails done. I go and I pay money to have my hair look beautiful so I can feel like I'm together, right? I have to get a new pair of shoes so I can feel like I'm together because on the inside, I'm not. I'm like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What is going on? Do I want to get out of bed this morning? Not really, but I have to.
Yeah.
That life is hard. And so for some women, really that, we say, oh, you're just so soccer mom or whatever. But for them, that's their way to get themselves together.
Yeah.
To feel like they have some control. I have no control over my entire world, but I can make sure my fingernails are painted orange with a little sparkle. And that makes me happy, right? Or I can make sure that every 6 weeks or 8 weeks I get in to see my beautician. That's my happy time. That's my moment. That's it. And nothing can get in the way of that. I do not cancel my hair appointment, like, oh, sorry, we have to go to a funeral or whatever, but I got to get my hair done on the way. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I set aside and I have to do. I wish I did the same with my nails, but I usually wait till they break and crack, and I try to last as long as I possibly can.
Well, I think I'm the complete opposite. The last time I had my nails done, let me think. Olivia was about 3 years old, so she's 28, so 25 years ago. Hair appointments, I'm just like, I literally texted my hair lady last week and said, hey, let me know when you get a cancellation because I really can't do anything with my hair anymore. I don't take care of myself in those ways at all. And it's because, and I literally sit there and think, I don't want to have to go sit there and waste the time to have my nails done. It's a completely, like you look at it as, I need to do this for myself. And I'm like, ooh, I just don't do that for myself. Right. And I'm not sure that's healthy.
No.
But,
Are there things you do for yourself?
Well, I have in the past. We know that I've kind of taken matters into my own hands at points and decided I was going to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
So,
and when you're
and didn't tell anybody.
Well, this is true. Sometimes you have to do that. Women do that all the time.
I know.
credit cards in their own name, and they go on spending
I
sprees, and
know.
But how did you feel when you're flying?
I can't even tell you. It was the most freeing thing I've ever done in my entire life. Complete freedom. And I mean, there's no more thinking about anything else because you're just so concentrating on what you have to do. And it's peaceful. So peaceful. I can't even tell you how many pictures I would just take of just sky.
Yeah.
Just the sky. And yeah. So, and the thing is the crazy thing. I mean, this is just crazy. Like, why did I not tell anybody? I First of all, I didn't want anyone to judge me because it's
Right.
kind of expensive, and I
Right.
didn't want people to judge me how I spent my money. And not that it's anybody's business, but I really did not want to be judged. And second of all, I didn't want anyone to have to tell me that no, you can't do it.
Right.
So I just did it.
Just did it.
I did. I don't regret it.
No, no, not at
No.
all. No.
No, now I got to buy my own plane. I just
See?
have to. I don't know how, but
Yep.
this is the goal.
Right.
Next year, I need a plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's help you reach that goal. Like,
Yeah.
Get it. However,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are people here in Branson, Hollister, who have planes, who have access to planes.
Absolutely.
Who, like, it can happen.
It absolutely can happen. I think so many times, okay, I don't know, when you were a little girl, did your parents or teacher or anybody ever tell you you can do whatever you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that they did. I think I listened more to the people who said I couldn't do the things I wanted to do because those are the people I wanted to prove wrong.
Yeah.
So for my life, I looked at it a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I always hear people say, "Look, you can do whatever you want to do. Just do it." And sometimes we take that advice, and other times we don't.
I know.
Yeah.
No one ever told me I could do whatever I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So, but I think it was when I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or something. I thought I had to be a wife and a mom, and this is my role, and I'm subservient to men in the whole 9 yards. I mean, I had this view, which
yeah.
I'm sure
Right.
somehow, I don't even know where this came from, but that was how I felt. And I just remember having this distinct moment and going, I don't think this is going to work for me.
Right. At 12. At 12.
No.
I don't think
And
that's gonna work.
yeah, I think my mother has been, oh, bless her heart. I think she's just been thrown off her rocker by me because she's so traditional, and I'm just like, ah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Okay.
It is okay because she lived her life for certain reasons as well.
That's
Like she
right.
made decisions based on things. Yeah. Yeah. Same way. Like I didn't know that I want to get married and raise a family and do all of that. But I did it.
Yeah.
I did a back ass word, like I had a baby and then got married because I think that's what you're supposed to do after you have a baby. Anymore, though, I don't think that's the case. But we've been married for 31 years. So,
Right.
It works, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And I haven't driven the car with him on the front of it yet. So, right.
You're already one up.
I think so. Goals, though, that woman, I'm like, man, way to just live, right?
I seriously, I would have loved to have heard the conversation where it was finally just, she was done.
Oh, yeah.
And what kills me is the fact that she walked out, she got in the car.
Yeah.
So she's done, she's leaving. He has responsibility here too. He's the one who jumped on the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Was she supposed to just sit there and let him beat the car?
Right. Or he thinks she's not going to drive off like this. Or maybe even, in his defense, he's like, my God, she's losing her mind. I don't want her to go anywhere. I want to protect her. I want to keep her safe. I can see that as well.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like,
This is it.
right, right. And then two crazy women in Branson are laughing about it because we relate to her in that feeling of like, I'm done. All I can do, done.
Yeah.
And no matter how successful we are, no matter how successful our businesses are, no matter how many friends we have, how our nails are polished or not polished, how our hair is, what we look like, if we go to church, if we don't go to church, I mean, there's a breaking point for all of us.
There is.
And it's how you handle that breaking point, and it's how you handle moving on after that breaking point. And you have to do it for yourself. You know? Yeah. Because giving up's not an option, right? I mean,
no, and I want to sometimes, but no.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Like, I'm just going to throw the towel. I'm done. But then what are you going to do?
You're not.
Right, because I have to pay to get my nails done and my hair done, so I have to make money
Yeah, so you got to
somehow.
do that.
Right, right.
You know, I used to have on my computer screen, it said, you didn't come this far just to come this far.
Yeah,
And it's like, just keep moving forward.
yeah.
Just keep going. And sometimes there's days that's easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. And when we first started this conversation, before we ever got on the air, you said, I wish somebody had told me that life was hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anybody ever told me that. Like I would see my mom and dad, like they're doing great, everything's wonderful. They go to church, they're paying their bills, they got a house. We even had a swimming pool in the back. And I'm like, life's good. That's the way life's supposed to be. But suddenly, like, it's hard. It's like really hard, like to raise a baby, to pay your bills, to go to school, to go to work, to find time to make friends or maintain friendships, right?
I know.
It just, and sometimes for my own self, if I'm like, okay, life is hard, take a breath because we know it's hard already. So now how are we going to tackle this? How are we going to do this? Even that piece of like, I need a break and I want friends. Okay. So how do we do that? Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go to church and we're going to meet them. We're going to, find people who are in the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to go to events that the city, has, and we're going to meet people and we're going to continue to talk to them and we're going to text them and we're going to build relationships. And all of that is hard.
I know.
But in the end, like you might be right here having a conversation with your bestie over who knows what.
I know. That's right.
I mean, I love it. I love that we would go to Cracker Barrel together and just talk. Like we could sit there for hours and talk.
I know.
Which is why John and Whit are like, we don't have 3 hours of recording time.
I know.
Right?
We're like, wait, why not?
Why? We could do this all day.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll do it every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, well, this is fun and this is easy. Actually, it's not. We spent a long time like, wait a minute, where's the camera? What do I have to put on my head? Wait, who's trying to turn it on? What are we going to talk about? Am I close enough to the speaker? How's my hair look? I mean, like, it's hard just to do something fun like we're doing right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember what we're sitting there, I said, just give me the hard numbers, man.
Right.
Just tell me how much time do we have on this recording?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
Right. And he says 45 minutes. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. And he's like, well, it's going to shut off at 30. And I'm like, wait a minute.
You just said 45.
Right. I lost. Okay.
Oh.
So like we don't have all the details for everything. We think we do. Like, oh, go get a 4-year degree and then you're going to be in the money, right?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
I have 4 years and another, well, it took me 5, and then another couple years for a first master's, another couple years for another master's, and then 3 years for a doctorate degree. I'm not in the money. No.
However, you are in a place, I think, that's much healthier for you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
and honestly, that doctorate degree, it was something you had to do.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
At first in my family to, graduate from college, first to get master's degree, let alone 2 master's degree. And nobody really knew what a doctorate degree was unless you're a medical doctor, of course.
Right.
So, but for me, it was just a personal goal of my own. I had to do,
you
had to get it
had to
done.
do it.
Yeah.
I had to fly a plane. You had to go back to school and do it
Yeah.
because that's what you needed.
Yep.
And I think it's awesome.
I did too. And it was hard.
I know it was
Flying's hard. Getting a doctorate degree is hard.
Yeah, flying is hard.
Oh, God, I can't even imagine. Like,
It's a lot harder than I thought it would be, let's be honest. I'm thinking it'll get easier with time, but no, it's kind of hard.
But maybe that's also what you liked about it. that
Maybe it's a challenge.
Yeah, that learning, that challenge, where for us, like paying a bill is challenging, but that means I have to get out my checkbook and write it, or I have to set up, automatic pay, or I have to ask my husband, like, did you set this up? Oh, never mind, you didn't set this up. I got to do this myself,
Do you ever send him emails that say, did you answer this email?
Yes, all the time. Or I text him or I send a customer an email, right? And then he's like, she's calling me. I'm like, well, yeah, because I sent an email. He's like, well, I've been talking to her all day. Well, if you could let me know that, and then I won't send an email because now I look stupid because you didn't tell me you were having a conversation.
There you go.
Well, I can't tell you all my conversations. I'm like, why not? It would take all day to do that. I'm like, okay, well, we just have to have sort of this constant communicative stream going on here. Doesn't always work.
I know.
Life is hard. Life is hard.
So what do you do on the days when you wake up? Because we were just saying yesterday, you and I both We didn't even talk to each other yesterday. We didn't even text. And I told you, I said yesterday was so hard for me. Like,
Yeah.
I was just so like, why are we doing this? And then you said the same thing.
I
You had the
did.
same day.
Which made me wonder, like, is it in the air? Is it, like just the change of the weather? And, it's starting to get colder. I love summer. I just thrive on the sun. And so I do find myself experiencing this, especially when we change our clocks and,
Sure.
sort of that unwillingness to accept winter is on the way.
So what did you do yesterday? You wake up, you're feeling just kind of, I don't know, is defeated a good word for it,
Oh,
or
yeah.
depressed, or just
Well, you hate to use the word depressed because then people say, oh, you're so depressed and you
right?
don't want to get out of bed. You don't want. I don't know many of us who are like, yay, I'm awake. Let's go. Yeah.
Right.
My little granddaughter, she'll say, morning, Mima. And I'm like, oh, what a wonderful way to wake up.
I know.
Like, how can I do that every morning? So I try. God
Mhm.
knows I try. Good morning. Oh, yeah, good morning. Like I try to be positive,
Right.
but then here we are. We're awake. And then sometimes I just really have to count my blessings, right? And like, okay, God, you're allowing me to work with my husband. This is something we've never done in our entire lives. So we get to work together. We
Mhm.
get to go to work together, and then in the same breath, I'm like, oh, we get to go to work together, like, um, not quite the same, as a co-teacher or, somebody that I'm teaching in the classroom with. Like he sees things from a totally different perspective than I do, which actually does help the business. But some days I'm just exhausted in keeping that balance,
Yeah.
And so for me, I do have to like think of the positives. Yesterday I just kept, man, it was just hard. It's just a hard day. So I'm like, I have to go for a walk, and I just wanted to sit by the lake for a while. And my little dog Rebel was like, okay, I've been in the water like 3 times. I'd like to go back and lay down for a while. So he didn't want to stay out there. So I had to walk him back. And then like, I'm still like, I don't want to do it, So I sat in my car for a little while and just like scrolled on Facebook. What a waste of time. It
But I
just,
think we've all done it.
yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
literally just sat there and in our car.
Oh, yeah. In our car.
Yeah. Like
I'm
a
not.
dead zone.
Oh, yeah. I'm not driving anywhere. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to buy anything because I don't have money for it. I don't want to go anywhere with this stuff. And I'm just going to sit here in my car and do this. I've done that with TikTok. God help me.
Oh, I know it. That's a rabbit hole.
Oh, it is. It is because you're like, wait a minute. A whole hour went by. I learned absolutely nothing. Well, maybe. Sometimes I learned crazy
Right.
things.
Right.
But still, maybe we just shouldn't be so hard on ourselves on days like that we just say,
Oh, that's really good.
today's hard. Today is a really, really a hard day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a concept to give ourselves some grace.
Right. Right. It's a great concept. If we practice it, that's a whole
That
other
is,
thing, right?
that's actually, that's beautiful.
Mm.
It really is. Yeah. Why are we so hard on ourselves?
Because we want to be successful. We feel like people are judging us. And of course we say at the same time, like, I don't care what people think.
Yeah, we do.
But we do.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
In one way or another, we really do.
Yeah.
Which is why we present our business a certain way. We do, I mean, everything we do in our business is because of how we want people to think
Right.
about
Right.
us, about our business.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, we might say, I don't care what people think, but we do care what the bank thinks. We care what social media, we care about what our presence looks like. What do people, what are their first thought when they see one of our businesses, And that's hard to maintain.
Oh, yeah. So also, we joined a Facebook group this week.
Yes.
I know. I'm kind of excited
I
about
am
it.
too. I am too.
I have not posted anything on it. Is it even like live and people are posting, or?
I don't know.
I don't either. But it was about women in business here in Branson.
Right.
I'm really curious,
Right.
like who all is going to join and what they're going to say.
Me too. And even those women that you don't know are like running the businesses, right?
Yeah.
So we hear of their husbands because their husband is the face of the business. And I'm saying specifically mine because the rogue chef, nobody wants to talk to Dana, right?
Yeah.
They don't care about her.
That's right.
They always want to talk to the chef. It's his face. It's
Yeah.
his, and And I don't know if you have that same thing, like it's all guns here and all masculine and,
Oh, yeah. There's so much testosterone going around this business. I'm like, oh my Lord. I think I may start growing a beard because it's just like seeping into me.
maybe
Like,
we should
just
do
way
that.
too much testosterone. So, yeah. And, yeah, no, it's like we know as women behind all of that, let's just be honest, we are running these
Oh,
businesses.
yeah, we are.
I mean, it takes both of us. It takes us, our husbands, and us to do this. We could
Right.
not do it ourselves. But my gosh, the behind the scenes. Whew.
Yeah, and I think people don't understand that at all. You think, oh, here's a great person, but behind that person, even people we see on TV, I was
Oh,
trying to
sure.
say to my husband, like, look at those great chefs on TV. Do you think they're great? I mean, do you think they're running the show? No, they have producers and they have cameramen and they have writers and they have, all kinds of people
Running.
running
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't care about them. All we
No.
care about is that person that's on
That's
the screen.
right. That's right.
So we're guilty of it ourselves.
Yeah.
And even our families are guilty, like I'll say, oh, we're doing this in the business, we're doing that. And I got to write a blog and I got to, put out these recipes and got to do this and that. And they're like, man, Jeff's doing a great job, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, but in his defense too, like he can cook like nobody's business.
Oh, I know he can.
I
know.
can't do that. I cannot do that.
I don't even know how he enjoys cooking.
Me
I
either.
just don't get I don't get it. I enjoy eating it, but I just
Yeah.
look at that and go, oh my God. Like,
Yes.
and when you guys invite us for dinner, I'm like, really? You want to cook dinner? Because we just go out and eat and grab
Right.
something, And they're like, no. And I'm like,
No, he loves it.
okay.
Yeah, he loves it.
More power to him.
And I've learned to love serving people, just giving them that experience where I can set the table for them, and just make them feel special for this moment of getting to eat delicious food. And that servanthood part is the part I really love about it. Just taking care of other people.
Okay, I'm going to brag on you for just a second and I've told you the story so many times, but I've never met a person more kind and generous than you are. In all sincerity. And I'm going to go back to that. Remember, we were walking through the parking lot. We were going to go to the pool. This is years ago.
Yep.
And this lady's walking through the parking lot carrying a garbage bag. Dana goes running up to her. Let me help you with that. She grabs the garbage bag and throws it away for her. I'm standing back going, oh, wow, look at that lady's getting exercise. I mean, two completely different. I don't know. Maybe I've got that sociopath thing in me. But when you just talked about being able to serve people, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think
That's
that's what I loved
amazing.
about teaching is like serving the students, serving the community, serving them, like giving them, what they needed to succeed in life.
I don't know of one teacher who's ever gone above and beyond more than you have with your students. I mean, you've done things that no teachers have ever done.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love my kids.
I
love
know.
them.
I
Yeah,
know.
I
And
do.
it showed. I mean, holy cow. And now you're on this whole new adventure.
Oh, yeah, to where I get to love people.
Yeah.
And some are long term. We've served them several times. And so it's great to get to know them, kind of like my students, have them a year and then the next year. And then, but here I just get to create an experience for them that they want to come back and do it again. Or they say, I want to hire a private chef somewhere else when I go on vacation. Or I make their vacation really, really worth it.
Really worth it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was thinking about life is hard. My grandma would, because you were saying about cooking in the kitchen. I don't want to cook in the kitchen. I don't like it. She would say to me, little Dana, get in here and learn how to cook so you can fetch a man, So she's probably already that idea, like life is hard. So let's get you a man who can make life easier, right?
Right.
And of course, that was her decade and her time,
Sure.
And I would say, Grandma, I'm not going to learn how to cook. I'll fetch me a man who can cook for me, And she would Dana, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
So it's kind of interesting that we say life is hard. Like my grandma knew that,
Yeah.
She sweated forever in the kitchen at her jobs,
Yeah.
and
now your husband
And
cooks
now
in
he's
the kitchen and sweating.
Yeah. But he'll also add to the story that at our wedding, she said to him, "You take care of my Dana, or I'll kill you." And, and he said, "I knew that she would kill me." So see, there's probably that breaking point in all women, she'd be driving her car, and my husband would be on the front of the car, and there we are. And it'd be okay with her, you know? She'd be like, I told you to take care of her. You didn't do it. That's my breaking point, you know? So,
she'd be like, why would you be surprised?
Right.
I already told you.
Yeah. I told you I was going to do that. You didn't listen, and here we are, you know? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I really appreciate this time that we've talked to everybody, just sharing ourselves. And is there any kind of, I don't know, feel good positivity tip you want to give to the other ladies?
Do you have one that you're thinking about right now?
No, I just really like that when you talked about giving yourself grace. And then I think the other thing I might take away from it is just keep on moving forward. I mean, really, we really didn't come this far just to come this far. And why would you want to go backwards? We all say we will never go back.
Right.
So we're just going to keep going forward because that's what women do.
Right.
We just keep moving forward.
Right. Until God says that's enough. You can come home now.
Yeah,
You know?
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And to know that really life is hard.
it is hard.
It is. But we all feel that way. It's not just you. It's not just you who doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning. It's all of us. you know? But then we get up. We start having conversations. We smile with our friends. We text our friends. We don't have to see them. We can just text them and like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to do this thing.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for spending your morning with me. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for chatting. I can't believe we chatted this long.
I know it. So, okay. Well, we'll join again next Tuesday.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.